Hey, it's Rion here with Get Sexual Attraction, and I want to put in a good word or two for my friend and colleague Paul Janka. Now, if you haven't heard of him, check him out. He's been on national TV, Dr. Phil, and he's known as kind of like New York's Playboy. So if you haven't heard of him, check him out. Here's why I recommend Paul Janka. Because not only does he have the experience with women, but he is the master of cold approaching. And I actually hired him because cold approaching women, although I've, before that point, comfortable in the approaching, and, I've got numbers from women like quote unquote cold approaching and warm approaching, quite a bit before that. What really drew me to him was basically he's the best known in the world for cold approaching, number closing, and I wanted to learn from the best to kind of fill that gap in, which is one of my weaknesses, which was not being proactive or having a true mastery in cold approaching, meaning there's a woman that I want to meet. Let me be more proactive about it and have more of a flow with that mastery in being able to get her number and so forth. So I had experience, but I wanted mastery and I wanted more of a proactive connection. So I went to Paul Janka, hired him for a day, and he kind of heard of me before or whatever, but then we got to know each other. And so we spent the whole day just, hanging out and really meeting women in Barcelona. And I remember meeting him at early in the morning, and it was just a great day. And eventually, we ain't gonna say what happened and stuff, but it was a successful day, and him and I became friends. Like, we're on that level, colleagues, and I really recommend it. Now, the reason why my people, and if that's you, like you previously followed me, like, in the sense of natural grounding, like the Rion camp or whatever, is sometimes kind of hesitant towards Paul Janka because it seems like what he's doing with direct, cold approaching women is an unnatural thing like a pickup artist. And no, actually, Paul Janka is a natural. He is a natural. And this is a disclaimer, though, that I've given from my people to be aware of, is understand things from a natural filter. You don't have to approach thousands of women. Neither does Paul Janka. It's just, that's his strategy, living in New York and stuff and really running things that way. He actually is natural, competent, confident around women. So what I recommend is, if you're gonna look at Paul Janka, do it for mastery with approaching women and getting more comfortable with that, but from a natural perspective, where you're doing the aligned sexual energy work, the transformational work, and where his stuff is really a complement to the practical reality of physical connection with meeting women and just direct approaching, mastering that part of it. And of course, there's a lot more to learn from him and his experience in that, but learn from Paul Janka if you really want to master that area, but do it not from a pickup artist angle, but from a natural angle where, and I've said this before, like on Brent Smith's kind of secret Facebook group to his people, there's a way that you can approach women with power. It's not that you're pursuing or needing something. What Paul Janka is doing, what I do when we're direct in just meeting women casually, is we're facilitating the possibility of a relationship. We're doing our part as the man to help facilitate what might be. It still comes down to her attraction and interest in you. So it's not that we're pursuing women like we're not powerful, like we're needing something. No. What Paul Janka does, what I do, is not like a pickup artist in the sense that we want to take something from them, we want to fill a void within ourselves. We're talking being powerfully confident, being the man that naturally women respond to, and then learning from someone like Paul Janka if you really want to master the area. So I've said this before, if you want to become the best, learn from the best. Money buys you speed. So when I hired Paul Janka, bam, took me to mastery level in a very fast time, because I was already masterful in so many other areas, even world authority in certain areas at that point. But I hired him to complement me, and now we're on a level of equality. And he's still someone I can keep learning from, and he could keep learning from me, and so forth. And that's the level like I'm on with Brent. So you can attract the leaders of your field, but you might have to pay for their time directly to really start a relationship. But now things are open, and I associate at that level. And it didn't take too long once I started associating with them to really fit into the template and then have my own spot in the industry, and now the evolutionary things that I've done with and for it. But now it's about really serving you with sexual attraction. So back to Paul Janka, he rocks, he's the real deal. Don't view him from a pickup artist sense, but from a natural perspective of really being able to master, wanting to, and having the freedom and liberty to approach any woman you would like at any time. So it's really about a practical connection. Paul Janka rocks. He's a very grounded man. So check out his stuff there's a couple websites. There might be some links below here. secretstomeetingwomen.com. Rion recommends Paul Janka.